Hi everybody, this is Jazz, aka Trend Trader for you. So let's talk about some Forex analysis. We're going to look at maybe 4 to 6 pairs, and I'll give my technical take on it, technical analysis on it, and whatever it is that I do, it's just my opinion. And if you want to take it to a point where it helps you, great. If it doesn't, that's totally fine with me. So let's talk about starting on with the Euro USD, probably one of the largest, one of the most popular pair that's out there. So on your right hand side, you're looking at a weekly chart. On the left hand side, you're looking at a daily chart. And if you know me, if you know my analysis, I always talk about the trends. I always talk about the support and resistance. Then I try to also always talk about the price action going right into the candlesticks, and that's basically it. I don't try to add any more indicators, any more strategies, sell signals, buy signals, just simple straight off of the chart. Try to look at a trend and what is a big trend, and what is if there is any reversal, where do we find that reversal? Okay, so basically on Euro USD, we are seeing somewhat of definitely a downtrend, but we are definitely seeing somewhat of a short-term uptrend in a weekly chart. Okay, I'll make out some lines in here, and I made these lines synchronized to the daily chart, to all the settings. So definitely somewhat of an uptrend in here in a short term, right? You have higher highs and a higher lows, higher highs and a higher low. Actually, this is a lower high below this, but you are still maintaining the higher lows, which is this trend line right here. Higher low, and a higher low. So possibly on a pullback, possibly coming down to a pullback where you could possibly have another move to the upside. Prices above 20, prices above 50, and prices definitely below the 200-day SMA right now. So going into the deeper analysis of it, if you want to pick up on this analysis and say that I want to go back into start trading this into the long side, don't just say okay that it's making higher highs and higher lows. Go into the smaller time frames to see where you could get the best entry based on your daily analysis. On your daily chart analysis, you're seeing somewhat of a higher highs, right, and a higher low. See where the possible move is coming down, and you could possibly see a pullback, or you could see a possible breakout. So pullback will be probably coming down, test this area. This is your support area, right? So that becomes your support right around here and right around here. So price could possibly come down in here to retest this support before it goes up. Or two things could happen, which is one of this is this. Secondly, it could basically base around here, right? Price could just basically base around here and have a breakout above this level right there. Okay, so you become a pullback trader or a breakout trader. That is totally up to you. And again, this is a daily chart. You can go down into a hourly chart, 30-minute chart, and become a pullback trader but in a smaller term, or even a breakout trader but in a smaller time frame. So hopefully that makes sense. There are two types of traders. There's a pullback trader and there's a breakout trader. Whatever you would need to decide, and however you want to play, you need to get the confirmation. You definitely want to see that the buyers are coming in, or there is more buying sentiment than the selling sentiment if you want to go long. So that is somewhat of your USD, Euro USD analysis. And in weekly, this is the critical area right here. Okay, that's the critical area. The resistance has been tested a few times in here. Okay, you could actually test again and come down, but it was tested once, twice, and possibly even coming to test the third time. See if it breaks it, right? If it breaks it, you could have a possible move to the upside and even test all the way about 1.22 area. Okay, so that's your Euro USD. GBP, British pound. Your British pound is actually looking more bullish than your Euro USD, right? Because you're seeing more pronounced higher highs, which is this, and higher lows, which is right here and right here, and possibly even if you see this basing right here, this is what I meant by the Euro USD. It might not even come down, right? It might not even come down all the way to the support. In fact, it did somewhat of in here, but this is another support level in here. Or you could just simply break out of this area, which is a consolidation, your resistance being tested. That's your trap right there, okay? As a advanced trader, okay, as an advanced trader, you need to look at not just, okay, it's breaking out of here, but you also need to, this is where a lot of people get stopped out. They're like, okay, it's breaking out, let's take this symmetrical triangle to the upside, or whatever descending, ascending triangle it is. But they forgot to see that, oh, oops, I got in, but I'm stopped out, because they didn't see this somewhat of an your resistance area, which was a trap right above this. So if you take this, you want to be careful about the prices. If it comes down in here, possible take something off, or maybe move your stops to a point where you're not hurting too much, or to a break-even point where you're not even hurting at all. So that's your daily kind of analysis on that. Definitely right above 20, 50, and 200 SMA. The reason why I have these on there, because not just me, not just big institutions, everybody looks at, right? So that when they're trading off of these SMAs, you want to have these on your chart, because these are the big indicators. However, at the same time, I do not trade off of these, okay, but they are being used as simple guides to tell me, okay, if the moving average is up or the moving average is down, you can possibly trade in the direction of the where the moving average is pointing up, okay? So in weekly chart, definitely a beautiful, nice short-term uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, possible breakout of this. Once it breaks out of here, you can initiate even a longer term kind of a trade in it with a stop right below this base. I would probably say here underneath it, if it breaks out and closes above this purple line. And your target around in here could possibly be around this area, then around this area. That would be your longer term kind of target on it. So GBP USD, that was that. USD Japanese yen JPY, let's look at that. Beautiful uptrend, nothing wrong with that. Would you trade this, or would you trade Euro USD or GBP USD? If your trend is established, right, three things you want to look at always. What is your trend? Is the trend up? Is the trend down? If your trend is up, look for pullbacks. Look for pullbacks to point where you're, if you take a trade, if you initiate a longer term kind of investment, that you're proven wrong really fast, okay? You don't have to wait for a long time. Rather, get in somewhere where you're proven wrong fast. And in an uptrend, if you initiate a trade in an uptrend, if you are trading in the trend, more likely higher percentages that you are going to be successful in trading the direction of the trend. In this manner, in weekly chart, with daily chart, you look at a nice, somewhat of a nice uptrend, a little bit of lower high in here, okay? That's a little worrisome, okay? But you don't have to take a trade. You don't have to say, you know what, I'm going in, let's take a trade in here. Wait for it, and wait for it. Let it break above here, right? Let it make another high, and then you can get in. You just have to go into smaller time frame to set your stop, or even to prove that the trend really wants to go up rather than it wants to go down. In fact, I'm looking at this looks like a little bit of a bearish flag, right? A big, huge move to the downside, flagging, possible even short to the downside in here, okay? But that's just that setup right there. Once it proves that it wants to go up, this setup will be negated, meaning once it goes up, it probably will put another higher high above this and continue goes up. Weekly chart is looking bullish, right? Whatever you trade, you want to trade in the chart that you're looking at. Don't just go back and forth. Okay, I'm trading weekly, let me take a trade based on an hourly and I'm short. Whatever trade you want to take, have your prospective trend in mind, okay? So that's your Euro, your USD JPY. Let's look at AUD Aussie, right? Let's look at Aussie dollar compared with USD. Again, so this is a downtrend, clear downtrend. Keep on trading in the direction of the trend. Don't worry about getting these hammer looking candles, right? You'll see these like a doji, high wave doji candle. What else? You had a little bit of a basing pattern to the upside. Could have been a trade in here, but keep trading in the direction of a trend is almost going to get you higher probability of trade. So in this case, what you're seeing is lower highs and lower lows till it starts to prove you that the trend wants to go up, like somewhat like in GBP, the pound that we looked at, that was somewhat of a trade of a trend that is trying to go up. Your SMAs are also pointing down, right? Your 200-day, 50, 20 prices all below these two. Price might be basing right around here. So in a daily trade, I really want to see, if you do want to take this trade, this is what I want to see. I want to see the price close above or trickle above, right above this area, okay, about 0.74, to see if there's a long in here. Let's look at one more on New Zealand dollar. Okay, NZD, I think NZD USD, compare with USD. Again, same scenario as the other one. Beautiful downtrend. Don't get tempted to take it long unless you know that trend is reversing. In this case, let the trend prove it to you. Let it make a somewhat of an possible higher high and higher low, which you don't see that right now, right? So keep on waiting. Put your alert right above here, okay, 0.66. Let this alert you, and then doesn't mean that you start taking the trade. Let it prove you that it wants to go up. Let it base for a few days, let it put a somewhat of an uptrend, short-term uptrend. Even in intraday, you can go down into, for instance, in an hourly, then you can see something like, for instance, this, right? That's it uptrend. That's it uptrend in an hourly time frame. But what happened in here is you're looking at an hourly time frame, but your daily chart is, or weekly chart is telling you that is to the short side. So chances of this working to the high side in a daily, in an hourly time frame, is only giving you a day trade. Okay, it's not giving you a swing trade. But here's the thing, here's the trick part. If you get in a trade, right, let's just say that you took this trade right above this area, where this is where I would take it, right above, possibly break above this with a stop, either maybe even go down a smaller time frame, but maybe right below this. And once it does that, right, once it does that, you can take this trade to the upside. But you have to know you're trading in a smaller time frame, so you need to start taking profits. If it gives you somewhat of a move from here all the way up here, there's probably resistance to the left of it. So let's see. So that's your resistance right there. So it went up all the way up here, met the resistance here. So you know that once you're seeing a trade, once you see a long in here, where is your nearest resistance where you would be taking profits? It's all the way around here, which obviously it reached there. So as a day trader, okay, again, as a day trader, one would be basically taking their profits, majority of the profits off around this place, moving your stop either at the break even or at a point where you see the trend reversing to the downside. So that's a day trade. How could you turn this into a swing trade? You leave your stop at break even, simple as that. You can, let's say if you are trading just more than one contract, or more than, let's just say you're trading in stocks, if you're trading 200 stocks, you can get out of 100 stocks here, right? You can still keep on writing the rest of the 100 stocks, just because you know this could be a possible move to the upside. So what do you do with the rest of the 100 stocks? Don't move your stop. Don't keep your stop exactly the same place. Once you see that kind of a move, possibly even move your stop to the break-even point, where you can say, okay, I took a profit on 100 stocks. On the rest of the 100, I'm gonna move my stop to the break-even point. And again, once you see that, okay, once you move your stop to the break-even point, you're not just, as a day trader, you're not just saying, okay, I'm gonna stop looking at a chart. You want to keep looking at a chart, because that's what day trader, that's why it's too tedious, right? You want to start looking at some kind of weakness in it, right? You see that weakness in here, price, instead of going up, it actually start turning down. So once it broke this low in here, it was creating the lower lows. So you would rather move your point at a break even, or you would say, you know what, I'm just gonna get out, close this trade out and move on, get another trade. If it's a swing trade, move your stop at a break even, let it ride to next day, or even if it wants to go to the next day and next few days. Okay, so those were the few of the pairs that we talked about. And again, always look at the trend. It's very important. Look at the trend, go down into a smaller time frame. From, if you're looking at a weekly trend, go down to a daily time frame, try to find there's a support, and possibly even go down into deeper and see if there is some kind of a smaller term, smaller time frame reversal candles are printing. Okay, and another thing I do want to add with the Forex is, even though it's all technical analysis, but you have to consider the news that comes out. Okay, every country is printing out news, left and right. So you can go to forexfactory.com and see all the major news that comes out, the rate drops, the FOMC and blah blah blah, the gold futures and all that stuff, right? All the news pertaining to whatever instrument you're trading. Make sure you know the timings. Okay, make sure when exactly the major news are coming out, and possibly not trade those, but those times if you're a beginner, or if you're trading those, trade small during those times. Okay, so hopefully that helps, and I'm just gonna close it out. It's kind of late, and I'll talk to you guys later this week. Take care, guys.